Hello and welcome to West Wales on a slightly chilly January morning. And if you're new here, my name is Becca and I'm a hand spinner, knitter and newbie weaver, and I love to share my creative process in hopes that it'll inspire you to pick up a pair of needles or learn to spin. If you're an old friend, welcome back. So I'm out walking my little dog, and I thought in today's video, as we are at the beginning of the year, I would talk about setting some intentions for the season ahead. I tend not to do a year-long kind of plan of, vision boards and all that sort of thing. What I like is just short little blocks, really achievable, and what am I going to make in the coming months? I'm going to finish my walk, go back to the house, and then I have a very exciting box from Ashford to unpack and some ideas for you of things that maybe you could try in this cozy, not feeling very cozy at the moment, but in the cozy season, so in the winter. Now, of course, if you are watching this and you are in the southern hemisphere, you're about to go into the summer, so obviously it's kind of almost going to be flipped for you. If you are, do let me know what you do at this time of the year if you are in Australia or New Zealand or somewhere like that. So I will see you back in the house. Back home, and I've got a big pile of things in front of me, which probably aren't in shot, but anyway, what I thought I'd do is go through some works in progress. Then I have my lovely Ashford box to unpack, and I will share what that is. And then this is my jar of possibilities. And the way this works for me is that every time I have a sort of project idea of something I want to do, if I haven't got the sort of bandwidth to do it at the time, write it on a little piece of paper, pop it in this jar, and then at some point when I've kind of got other things out of the way, I can pull something out of here and, do the project. So this I did share, oh gosh, quite a long time ago. So there are lots of things in here. So I'm just going to take some out and try and pick 3 that I want to do over the next 3 months. So for me, my neurodivergent brain finds that quite a good way of sort of marshalling all my thoughts, not getting overwhelmed, and just sort of picking a few things that I really want to do, rather than something that's just a kind of like passing, like, oh, that sounds like fun, I'll go down a rabbit hole of that. No, just kind of write it on a piece of paper, pop it in my jar, and then when I can sit back and actually think about it and have a bit of clarity around it, I can decide whether it's something I want to do. Okay, so works in progress, I think, first off. So if you have been here a little while, you will have seen this bag, which is a knit to felt bag, and I did share it on the channel. Gosh, it's probably 12 months ago. And one of the things that I decided if I did it again, I would redesign was the strap. So I have got another knit to felt project ongoing, which I will share in its entirety. And it's a really good way of using up lots of sort of bits and bobs of hand spun that don't really go in any other projects. And this eventually will be the strap. So what I've done is I've done it quite wide, and I will then double it up. So when it shrinks, it's going to be really, really firm, because on that bag, that strap is a bit stretchy. So that is my solution. So that's sort of, yeah, I mean, this is obviously, this is going to shrink quite a lot, and I'm doing moss stitch for this. So I've got a bit more to go on that, but it's really quick to do, and the project is going to be pretty much ready to share in the next couple of weeks. So that's what's kind of in the works for the channel, and it is actually going to be a gift for my neighbour. And yeah, we've talked about gifting for neighbours and things before as to, is it a good plan or not? But she is a lovely neighbour who helps me out no end, so I'm quite happy to do a little project for her. So that's that. Then socks. Always be knitting socks, that's sort of my motto, although the last pair of socks I knitted took me nearly 12 months. I got so stuck on second sock syndrome. But this is yarn that I dyed and spun, and it's on the channel, and it's a 2-ply, and I've sort of decided to go back to 2-ply for socks. The last pair of socks I did it as part of the My Wool Mitten and her spin along. She does a sock spin along, and she was doing 3-ply, and I thought, well, I'm going to try flea ply. I don't know what that is. I think the dog gets that. So 3-ply. I thought, well, I'll try a 3-ply, which I did, and they're just a little bit too thick because I didn't get that really, really fine yarn that maybe I should have got to get a sock yarn that was thin enough to be 3-ply in the weight I like. Did that make sense? I think that sort of made sense. Anyway, so these are 2-ply, and this is actually the last time I did any acid dyeing, and I can't remember when this was. It was really early on in the channel that I made this yarn. But anyway, I'm knitting it up, and it's thin, which I really like for socks. And I got a lovely comment on my last video, which was spinning up the lonk, and somebody saying that lonk is also excellent for socks. I did think it probably would be, and someone in the comments, and I am so sorry, I can't remember who it was, but they did say, yeah, lonk is absolutely brilliant for socks. So that is on the needles, and hopefully that's going to be a fairly quick project, because I only cast that on about 3 days ago. So hopefully I won't get stuck on the second sock. So there's that. Then, right, oh, okay. So the other thing that I'm going to do again this year is my dye garden. So I've got all my seeds, and it's a little bit early to start them, but I'm going to do the woad again and the weld, which is a biennial. So I shall be harvesting the weld that I planted last year. I'll be harvesting this year, but I obviously do need to start some more. So we've got that 2-year cycle going. But again, I will share more of that as I do it. So that's kind of in the works. Then what else have we got here? Okay, rotary cutter. Bought it before Christmas, still in its packet. Haven't even looked at any quilting since before Christmas. We were going away before Christmas, and I kind of got my knickers in a twist about organising that, because it kind of is a little bit of a military operation. So didn't do any quilting. I just about finished off my cushion that I had been quilting on the channel. So that got finished, and that's the last time I picked up any sewing really. And so yeah, I still want to do some quilting and learn a bit more about quilting, but I don't know whether that is really suitable for this channel. I mean, I try not to listen to the YouTube experts too much, and they do sort of tell you not to be kind of jumping all over the place with your content, but I do sort of jump all over the place with my content. So yes, is there going to be more sewing? I think so, because I really enjoyed it, and people seem to like it on the channel as well. And hey, you know, fibre and textile arts, they kind of go together, don't they? I think so. So yeah, there you go. That will happen. But as you can see, I haven't even unpacked it yet. So talking of sewing, I'm doing a bit of visible mending. So these are a pair of my jeans that I bought secondhand, because I do try to buy most of my clothes either secondhand or what I would call fair trade, or kind of eco-friendly, or make my own. And I haven't done a lot of my own clothes recently, but that is my kind of intention, that I want to try and incorporate actually sewing some of my own clothes again. I mean, I really haven't done it in years, if I'm absolutely honest, years and years and years. But I have been doing visible mending, so there you go, little bit of visible mending. And I've been hand stitching this, and when I was talking to you about what quilting I wanted to do, I said, oh, I don't think hand quilting is for me. I think I might have changed my mind a little bit, because I've really enjoyed doing this hand stitching. So I was like, hand quilting small projects, gosh, that might be something I'd enjoy, because I have just been literally in the evening sat with this on my lap, kind of dog to one side, TV on, and just doing a little bit of hand stitching. and I've really enjoyed it. So I might be revising my opinion on hand quilting. We will see. So before we get on to the jar and what I'm going to plan for the next season, very importantly, ta-da, lovely box from Ashford. Now in my introductions I sort of say, newbie weaver. I had a loom, I had a rigid heddle loom up until about 3 years ago I think, but it was huge. It was 32 inches wide and it was on a stand, and when I bought it I thought, well, I want a really wide loom because I want to make eventually some cloth to make clothes. That was in my head, in my kind of washing machine head, kind of going, oh yes, that sounds fun. I don't know how I thought I was going to achieve this, but anyway, you know, you think about these things, don't you? You think, oh yes, that sounds like a really good idea. So to me, that sounded like a really good idea. And I got it and I did weave some things on it, and I've shown some of my weaving on the channel before, but I was weaving stuff that was about that wide or that wide. You know, it was kind of ranging either like that or like that, and I never ever actually warped the whole width of it, and it took up too much space and it just was a pain. So I sold it, and I said to myself, I'm not making that mistake again, and I am actually going to investigate a little bit what sort of weaving I'm actually going to do. Because I live in quite a small space, I do not want hundreds of bits of equipment that I never use and that just sit there gathering dust and taking up space that, you know, I could have other exciting things in. So I took a really long time to decide what I was going to buy. In the meantime, I bought myself just a kind of little frame loom and played around. And after lots of humming and hawing and video watching and article reading, I decided on a rigid heddle loom again. So I didn't actually change my mind. I think I had the right type of loom for me. I don't think like a table loom is suitable for me. I just don't think I've got that sort of attention to detail that I think you really need to take the most of a table loom. So rigid heddle loom, and I'm going to unpack it and show you what it is. So I've just realised I think there are some Christmas decorations still in shop, and although it is past 12th night, I actually have left them up because we've got friends coming and we're having our third Christmas. So that's why I still have a few Christmas decks around. So, ta-da! 16-inch rigid heddle loom from Ashford. And I think there's 7.5, yeah, 7.5 denim. So I think I'm going to be able to make things that I'm actually going to use and actually going to finish with this loom. I'm not going to put it together now because, as with most Ashford things, in fact I think all Ashford things, it's unfinished. So I am actually going to put a little wax finish on that. I might even make a beeswax finish for it out of my beeswax. So there you go. Okay, so I've got my cup of tea, my very milky weak tea, and I've got my jar. Now, let's see what I pull out. Maybe the first 3 things I pull out will be something that I want. I also have my specs in case I can't read my own handwriting, which does happen. Okay, so what's the first one? So, rug kit. Definitely, I definitely am going to do that. I definitely want to do that. So that's going on there. Yes, I'm going to do that. Am I putting that? Oh, I don't know now. Right, yes, I'm going to put it on the possibilities pile. Okay. Spin all 27 rare breeching. Oh, right, okay. I'm already doing that. So that one I'm already doing. So that needs to come out of the jar. Oh, what have we got here? Welsh quilt. Okay. So when I was starting looking at quilting, I got a book out of the library which was all about Welsh quilting, traditional Welsh quilting. And Welsh quilting is known as the sort of the quilting that inspired the Amish. And it's quite different from modern quilting, and the way modern quilting is done is quite different. It's a different philosophy. That is kind of going on the possibilities style pile. So that, I think, goes on the possibility pile. Okay, what else have we got? Beach combing sketchbook. I kind of do that already. I don't really know why that's in the jar. So that's in the, I'm doing that already. I don't share that on the channel because, you know, oh, maybe I should, I don't know. Upcycled denim skirt. No, I'm not doing that. So that's on the not at the moment pile. Okay. Refinished footstool. That's got nothing to do with fibre arts. That's going on the not at the moment pile. Can't actually read my own handwriting. Ugly yarn blanket. No. Okay. Design an apron. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. That's going on the possible. Bookmark. I've already done half of these. I've already done that. Wool beads for necklace. Quite like the idea of that. You see what I mean, how random these are. Okay, what else have we got? Beach combing necklace and earrings. They kind of go together, don't they? Possibly. Okay. Relearn to spin long draw. That is sort of in process, because when I'm spinning the rare breeds, I am actually spinning long draw for some of them, and this kind of the stuff that I just bought is all carded, so I'm going to do that. So that's kind of ongoing, so that really should have come out of the jar before now. Okay, needlepoint kit. No, not doing that. That can just sit in the cupboard as it has been for the last 6 months. Christmas napkins and decorations. Well, that can go back in the jar because it's a bit out of date now. Shoezine. What was that about? Oh, I remember. Right, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not making a zine at the moment. Okay, learn to spin linen. Well, I think that's a possibility. Block print tea towel. No, that's for a summer project. I'm not doing that now. Upcycle linen top. No, that's going in that pile. Not doing that at the moment. Okay. Silk scarf. Right, what else have we got? Spin local alpaca, visit alpaca farm. I actually tried to do that this summer and found it this summer kind of gone, so summer 2024, and actually found it really difficult because the people that breed alpacas locally, they weren't selling any fleece. So I might relook at that. Nearly there. Charity knit. Oh, I've done that. So yes, that's been done. Slow living shop. What did I mean by that? Okay. As I don't actually really remember what that was about, I'm just putting that on that I'm not doing that pile. Raw fleece, did that. Knitting and spinning journal. That's kind of, I'm in the process of doing that, and I am going to share a bit more of that sort of in upcoming videos. Okay. What have I written there? I can't read my own writing. It's not because I can't see it. It's because I actually can't read the scribble I've put this on. Can't read it. I don't want to do it. Right, okay, so these can all go back in. I'm not going to sit here and do that now. I'll do that in a minute. So what am I left with of my possible options? Welsh quilt, I quite like that. Learn to spin linen, I think that's a summer project. Beach combing for necklace and earrings, I think that's a summer project. Wool beads for necklace, quite like the idea of that actually. Design an apron. Yeah, I have to say, I quite like the idea of that. It's not really fibre arts though, is it? Because I was, when I say designing an apron, I'm thinking about like fabric design. I'm going to leave it in the pile. And then the rag rug kit, I absolutely am going to do that. So, okay, I've got 4. I need to put it down to 3. Bear in mind, I'm kind of the on-grade. So I really need to get this down to 3, and I have my ongoing projects that are the spin along, the rare breed spin along, the dye garden, and just kind of the projects I've got to finish off. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a poll on the community tab. So if you don't know where that is, when you look at your feed or my channel, there is a bit that says community. And I'm going to post a poll on there. So what shall I do first? Shall I make my rag rug from the kit that I've got? Shall I design an apron? So that would be quite good fun to design my own spinning apron, because as I tell you all the time, I am a habitual apron wearer. I do love an apron. And I've got this idea in my head that I really want to design one with sort of spinning motifs or maybe sheep motifs on it. I mean, that's not really fibre arts. So, but I'll leave that up to you. And then just making some wool beads to make a necklace. So some jewellery made out of wool. And then my Welsh quilt. I'm going to put poll up. You let me know which one you'd like to see on the channel first. Okay, well, I hope that gave you some ideas. Always love to know what you're working on and what your plans are for the coming season. So I'm thinking that I'm probably going to do this every sort of 3-4 months, depending on how many of these I've got done. So until next time, may your needles be swift and your yarns be soft.